What is good, YouTube? And today we have a tier list for pretty much all of PvE for Etheria Restart. A lot of you guys were asking because of the fact that, a lot of people are coming back to the games. There's some new players, and even though this is kind of a re-upload because of the fact that my Sony Vegas glitched out when I was rendering, I will be talking about the characters once again, and this is going to be updated for the global launch. There are a ton of new characters which kind of shook up the meta a bit in terms of, rankings, because obviously the characters higher up in the tier you're going to want to prioritize over the other characters. So first off, we have the OP tier. These characters are going to be super strong. We also have the strong tier. These characters are also going to be very good, just not as universally used. Then we have the placeholder tier. These characters will be only really used until you get some upgrades in the form of other SRs or even other SSRs. Then we have the niche and one-shot tier. These characters are going to be used to one-shot bosses or used in very limited areas of content. So we're going to start off with the OP tier. At the top we have Lily. I personally think Lily and Plume are pretty close in terms of raw strength. They are extremely powerful in PvE. You can slot them into pretty much every team, which is their biggest strength. And it makes it so that you don't have to build as many characters to, fill in that Lily spot for different dungeons, right? These two are going to be just amazing supports. If you have any of them, your account is already set for PvE content. So just really powerful. Lily's more of a offensive damage dealer buffing support, while Plume is kind of just a debuffer that will make your damage dealers do a lot more damage, and also your team will take a lot less damage. So both are very powerful. I think they're almost equal in strength, so yeah. Next we have Lilium and Yelly, two LDSSR DPSs, extremely good. Lilium has the strength over Yelly that she does more single target burst and just overall damage. And Yelly has the advantage that she can dispel buffs somewhat, she has a defense break somewhat, and she also has AoE damage, which is their biggest strength. Then we have Vice, extremely good boss cheeser. He can taunt lock bosses, definitely a must build. He's an R unit, the only R unit in this OP tier, so it makes him an extremely powerful character. Then we have Lingluo, the best healer in the game for PvE. She has the best burst healing. She has really good healing over time with her Whale Prayer if you max her S1, and she also has immunity and can dispel, which makes her extremely powerful and just really good in just any content that's not really green. Kloss, she's basically kind of like Plume, a little bit weaker though, I'd say, because the biggest thing with Kloss is her S3 hits once, Plume's hits 3 times, so it's a lot easier to land her debuffs. And also, Kloss can't dispel immunity buffs because her kit doesn't have a dispel, while Plume has a dispel, and she also doesn't have that broken passive for your team. And yeah, just basically Kloss is a little bit worse than Plume, but still okay. Also, you can't use her in Terramaton or Aurora really effectively, so that's also a downside. Valerian, one of the best supports in the game, has a cheat death, has attack buff for your team, has a barrier, just really strong if you max her as 3. Definitely a top priority if you have her because of the fact that you can slot her into every single team, and she's really good. Sonya, she is going to be more investment than other SR characters because you want to max her, but she is just a good overall character. Anywhere you need to cheese long fights, in Ethernet Rally, Ember Check, even Rengokutsu, Inferno, and stuff like that, she's just the best healer because she can revive and remove debuffs and also give your team max HP while also dispelling and just doing a ton of healing over time. Then we have Viper. This character is not a fan favorite because of his design, but just really broken. Has the best damage mitigation in the game alongside Tiamat, but better than Tiamat, he has a dispel on his S3 and a lot of really powerful debuffs in attack down and speed down, making him very good in PvE content. Now we have the strong characters. Diding's the substitute for Lilium and Yelly. Once you get them built up, you're kind of going to replace him, although he's still used. You're going to use him in one-shot comps still. Lilium, Diding, 2-man one-shot comps with 2 supports is very common in 30-second runs for shells and even thresholds, so very good combo. Nell recently got buffed, very powerful. She's going to be extremely good just because she has a permanent speed buff and she can boost your DPS and heal. The thing is, she is kind of power crept by Lily, but Nell is still a very solid option if you don't have Lily. Nymphonial is going to be a very good attack buffer. She has that Ryan Bloom and that regular attack buff, really good in one-shot comps. Also just good in Rengokutsu in general, even if you're not one-shotting. Just really strong support, especially after her buffs, which actually makes her Dispel now. Fushu, very good support as well for PvE. The thing is, she requires Doki Doki to shine, honestly. Like, using her alone, she's pretty good still, but yeah, having something to reset her cooldown is pretty important. So you either need like Time Weave or you need like Doki Doki, but really good because she pretty much makes your team unkillable when her Moonlit Veil's up. Giada, another really good AoE DPS. After her buffs, she is insane for PvP content. And honestly, I think for Doki Doki, she's like the best DPS now because she never dies. So honestly, I probably want to put her even higher. Yeah, let's put her like here. And I think like even though she has limited usage, she allows you to get into Doki Doki and Aurora and like other event stages very easily. The buffs pretty much made her like unkillable in PvE content, which was like her biggest weakness, just dying. So really strong now. Doki Doki, I just talked about her. Honestly, if you have a max Doki Doki, she's like OP. But the thing is, like, she's really high investment, like more investment than DPS characters, which is pretty insane. You will invest into her eventually for PvP, but for PvE content, like, yeah, it's just too much investment to build her early, so I can't really put her in the OP tier. Catchy the Guard, extremely powerful SR support. You can slot him into pretty much any single team, and he will be at least strong. So because of that, he is good. You can put him into every single Inferno Threshold and Shell team right now, besides like Chloros, I believe. Red Catchy, one of the best one-shot characters in the game. Also good in Rengokutsu, and actually he's good in every single shell. So he's pretty much just like a shell boss killer, so it makes him very powerful. He has CC and a DPS boosting skill, which makes him very good. Next we have Obel, very strong in PvE for just dotting stuff. He is going to be also very good at CCing a lot of things for, you know, bosses that have really annoying minions. Also very good in Ember Trek and Ethernet Rally, which makes him a very solid pick. Definitely one of the powerful dot characters. Now we have Shadow Sonya, so some people might put her up here, some people might put her up here. I had her down here-ish. Honestly, the reason why is because this is like an overall tier list, not an early game or anything like that. But in the late game, you only ever use her for like Ethernet Rally and Ember Trek, and that's pretty much it. And you don't even need her in those areas. And I guess like Anasync Echoes, which you might need her in, but she loses a lot of value in the late game, which makes her not as good as people say. But in the early game, she's like one of the best characters in the game because she cheeses you through a lot of the hard stages and allows you to farm Inferno a lot quicker than you usually would be able to. Next we have Rahu. So Rahu is, honestly, in the late game he's like OP, but like early mid game he's not that good, so I have him in strong. He is the best DPS for slow bruiser fight bosses. So for example, Ember Trek 43, a lot of the stages are very slow and take forever. He's very good. Anasync Echoes, the harder stages, he's very good. The reason why is he's super tanky, has a ton of damage even when it's not his turn, has a defense buff, and he has the fact that he can defense down as well is very good. Freya, very good character overall, really strong debuffs, really good defensive capabilities. She lacks healing, but people make that up with Fortissimo on her lately. That kind of makes her like super strong, honestly, so she's probably like up here. But I think like she's a very good support. If you have her, you're going to be using her for a long time in both PvE and PvP. Rosa, she's like a worse version of Giada in terms of PvE content now. She does like the same role. Rosa is more single target focused, Giada is more AoE. The thing is, Rosa dies a lot quicker than Giada, that's the main issue. And Giada is like super tanky now, so I have to put her lower. Mia, I did not mean to do that. Mia, underrated character, really good in PvE. She has really strong S3, she has a really strong S2 that can dispel and push back. The thing is, her cooldowns are very long, so you have to run her on Time Weave, and if you don't get lucky procs with the Time Weave, you just kind of just sit there and waste a lot of turns. She doesn't really have as many impactful off turns as other healers like Ling Luo and Sonya, so have to put her in just the strong, but she's very good in Aurora and stuff like that. Messiah, good DPS. The thing is, he's just like a jack of all trades. Like, he's not going to excel in anything besides Doki Doki Inferno. But if you have Yeli, if you have Giada, you know, they're just way better than him in general. There's some comps where Messiah will be better, like if you're one-shotting it, but in general, he's going to be just the worst option. Everywhere else, you can always slot him in, but he'll never be like the best option. Fangus, good DPS, similar to the dot comp. He's also used with the dot characters. Honestly though, like, he could probably be like up here because you can build him on a crit build and he's going to be very good. Like, people underestimate how much damage he does if you just like don't worry about his dots and just build him on full crit and full damage and like count or even golden lion, because similar to Rahu, he attacks when it's not his turn and it makes him do a ton of damage. So now we have the placeholder characters. I'll just talk about what character, you know, you're waiting for when you're using them. Lian, pretty much any single DPS in the game. Kazuya just got buffed for PvE, but it's mostly like a Lily, like a very budget Lily for like Nico Nana only, and I guess like Aurora and Terramatan only. Gray, just any defense down character like Kloss or Plume is what you're going to use him for, and it's only going to be for Doki Doki. Sybil, just a replacement for Didding, Giada, Rosa until you get those. Rin is going to be used in Doki Doki as an AoE DPS until you get Yeli, Giada, even Messiah and stuff like that, or even Real Mocha. And Chiaki the Echo, pretty decent character I'd say, but she's kind of like a what's it called, character you use until you get Lily. So now we have like the niche and one-shot characters. I'll talk about them very quickly where you use them. Heinrich's for just any one-shot in Threshold, so Aurora and Terramatan. Veronica is going to be for Terramatan one-shot as well. Tsukiyomi can be decent in Aurora, but that's pretty much it. Kazuya the Reverie is for Doki Doki Inferno and for some one-shot teams for like Rengokutsu. Yang is going to be for some one-shot teams for his buffing. Holden is going to be for Terramatan one-shot for dispelling. Tiamat is similar to Rahu in the fact that she can be used in those slower teams, but she can't work in every single one. And in the one she does, she's going to be like the slowest DPS option. Red Rin is going to be Rengokutsu, very good there with Nymphonial. Chloros is going to be used for one-shotting Terramatan, Aurora, and also good for Sharon, but outside of that, not really used too much. RC77, Doki Doki one-shot. Same with Ramoka, the best DPS for Doki Doki one-shot. Mio is also used for Doki Doki one-shot as an opener. Dinah is used as a one-shotter anywhere, even Doki Doki if you need a defense down, she's very good. Just the best defense down in the game for one-shotting because she has 3 debuffs on her S3 that boost your damage. Batsby is going to be used for Doki and also Aurora one-shot. Hizuki Mari is a PvP character, but she will be used in Doki one-shot. Dorothy and Beyonton, they can be used in like every single one-shot team in the game, so you can kind of pair them together. But they're very, very good in one-shot comps. Chiaki is going to be used for Aurora one-shot as well, because you just use her S3 to clear the Curse Shield. It's going to be a stronger burst heal than Ling Luo, but her healing over time is a lot worse. You only really use her in those one-shot comps. Celine can be used in Doki Doki and Shadow Flame Hoyan, but that's pretty much it. Kraken is going to be used for Doki Doki. Lilith is also going to be used for Doki Doki as a CC'er. All 3 of these are CC'ers, although they're not really the best option. Marvel is used for Doki Doki one-shot as well as an opener, kind of like the SR budget version of Mio for that. Mizuki can be used in Terramatan one-shot, similar to Holden as a dispeller, but she'll have 2 chances to dispel. I guess Holden does as well, but Mizuki is a little bit worse, but still works. Nahor is going to be used for Doki Doki one-shot. And then number 41 is going to be a decent pusher. Honestly, she's a placeholder until you get Lily. That's pretty much what she does, but she's like okay. She has healing somewhat and like an attack boost and a CR push, but honestly I wouldn't use her because Chiaki the Echo is just better and then Lily's like way better. Obero is like a single target DPS for like Cage Rumble and stuff like that, but outside of that you're not going to really use her anywhere. So yeah, that's pretty much this tier list for PvE. The characters at the bottom here, you might have some usage for them, like for example some people may use Hoyan for Terramatan one shot, but very inconsistent, so I wouldn't even put it in niche because I don't even recommend it. But for the most part, I think this tier list is pretty accurate. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next video.